Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. This is Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Clayton. Back at it again, my man, Brian Wilkinson. Yes, sir, we are back for our Season 2 finale of our college casual football talk. And what a great way to end the season with a match between number 1 Alabama and number 2 Clemson. And both teams came in as the favorites, so we know about that. But one team had to be a victor, and that was Clemson, with an outstanding 44-16 beatdown of the reigning champions of Alabama. Now we have a new king of college football and maybe a change of the guard as well. Let's get right into it, man. What was the major thing that jumped out to you about this beatdown that Alabama took from Clemson?
Clemson being a complete ball club. They did it on offense, they did it on defense, they did it on special teams. And also a very characteristic, also uncharacteristic performance from Alabama. They had all the time of possession, they had the running game going well. They just couldn't get in the end zone for whatever reason.
My biggest take... Go ahead. My biggest take was Trevor Lawrence. Basically, when they shut down Clayton and Brian in week 3 and said, hey, we're going to go a new direction. Sorry about that. You can still transfer if you want to, and which he is going to do that. And they said Trevor Lawrence is our guy, because we could have easily went 14-0 with Clayton and Brian, but we were not going 15-0 with Clayton and Brian. We can go 15-0 with Trevor Lawrence if we had that. I think their mentality the whole entire year is, and it's not being the bullies or nothing, but we're better than everybody else, but we want to make sure that we can be better than Alabama. And Trevor gives us that chance to be better than Alabama. And that was my biggest take. The quarterback, 6'5", 6'6", 215. He's the best prospect since Andrew Luck. And we all know what Andrew Luck is doing this NFL season right now. So, I mean, the kid is a monster. He's amazing. And he was the game changer, in my opinion, because you can have the best defense and you can have a decent running game. But if Alabama does not respect your passing game at all, you will get beat down like they did last year. So I thought that came out big for me. That was my major point. It's an easy cop-out because the quarterback, but it's the truest statement, in my opinion. So let's just talk about it now. Trevor Lawrence and Tua, they clash. Probably the two best quarterbacks outside of Kyle Murray as well. A three-headed quarterback class of this year that we saw. And they all three of them did well all season long.
Absolutely.
But Trevor came in pretty late, week 4 to really start. That's why he's not getting the recognition till right now. But those two going in, Trevor obviously was the better quarterback in the game. Tua had his moments, good and bad. I want to know, what did you feel about Tua's his game from the good to the bad, and why he sort of struggled and looked kind of out of whack in this game?
For me, this game for Tua was all about him needing to grow pre-snap. We've all seen him scramble around, make good plays on the breakdowns and rolling around in the pocket and things like that. But this game was really about him missing blitzes pre-snap, because that's what did them in. Clemson and Brent Venables came in and said, we're going to put you off your spot. That's our whole goal. Front 7, your whole job for this game is to put Tua Tagovailoa off his spot.
Right.
And make him throw under duress. And it worked. Their first series on defense, they get the pick 6 because Tua has a man coming in his face. He didn't settle down and throw the ball far enough outside to get it to his receiver. Left it inside, DB jumped it, took it to the house. And that was really it. If you watch the tape, he still looked good. His throws on point for the slants and on time. Good things. He's still kind of throwing the ball up a little bit like he tends to do. But it was really just missing those pre-snap blitzes. Not having those picked up that cost them this performance. Isn't
it funny? So when he throws a pick 6, he comes back and he throws the big touchdown. I think it was 62 yards. And did you ever see something that big again? It's almost like Venable, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, said, you know what? Okay, you got us on that one. But that is not about to happen ever again. It's not about to happen. It's not. We're done with it. So if you're going to beat us, it's going to be in the middle. from 13 to 14 yards, but you're not getting those big chunk plays. You got to earn it. And I think this is the first team that made Bama's offense, the passing wise, actually earn their yardage. Like, you got to read the blitzes because we're going to come at you. And we're going to make your quarterback have to throw off his spot. And I think they did a good job of that. That got Tua in kind of trouble. But it wasn't, look, Tua, it felt like Nick Saban and the offensive coordinator were saying, you know what? Tua should have won the Heisman. Tua is the reason why we're here. And he's going to show you why he should have won the Heisman. And he's going to show you why that guy across from us, Trevor Lawrence, isn't the best quarterback. It's Tua. He already beat Kyler Murray. Now he's going to beat Trevor Lawrence. And I felt like they went past a little too much for my liking. Old Nick Saban's teams run dominance, obviously. And they had it going on in this game. Both Harris, Najee, and Damon were just killing Clemson. It's almost like they were run, and you get 6, 8, 5 yards. And then you want to go ahead and throw 3 straight times. And it kind of took momentum out. So I think Tua's put in bad situations from his offensive coordinator and Nick Saban, who's also, who's the big dog.
I agree. And I think Clemson was okay to sit back and let that happen.
Yes.
Once they built up to the lead, you could even see it when it was 14-13 after the dinked extra point. Brent Venables said, "Okay, run the ball, take that time off of the clock. We can score in pinch,
right?
No problem. Go ahead, run the ball, take that time off the clock. We'll eat those. But you're not going to get those big 62-yard touchdowns.
Exactly.
That's not happening. We're going to put you off your spot. We're going to let you get 6, 7 yards on the ground, a carry, but you're not scoring fast.
No.
We can score fast. You're not scoring fast."
As you saw from time possession, it doubled up. The plays from Alabama, they doubled up on Clemson as well. But like you was telling me earlier before we did this, you're saying Clemson still finished with more yards and, obviously more points. It was like, okay, they're just efficient in what they're doing. But check out the stats. So Najee Harris, 9 carries, 59 yards. We got Damian Harris, 11 carries, 57 yards. We have Josh Jacobs, 11 carries, 47 yards. These guys are averaging more than 5 yards a carry. Well, just about 5 yards a carry for each one. And it's almost like they want to show why Tua is this good and great quarterback. I didn't get that. Like, just win the game. Tua's going to get recognized regardless. Just win the game. And my biggest take is Clemson being just as physical, and here's the word, just as talented as Bama. They face all kind of teams that are as physical. You talk about the LSUs and the Georgias. They're as physical as them. They're not as talented from top to bottom. And I think Clemson is the only team out here, on offense especially, who can out-talent you. The only team in the nation that can out-talent Bama. And I think, you know how it is, the bully on the block, Debo.
Yeah.
Debo come in, take everybody's chain. Give me your chain. Give me your money. But then when someone stood up and said, you know what, I'm done with this, it takes a brick and hit him across the head. That was Clemson. And they made Debo, who was Alabama, quit. It was almost like they panicked. And that was my word for this game, panic. I want to talk about the coaching. Nick Saban and the coaching staff. A lot of issues going on. We all know about the fake field goal. That was just the most horrendous thing we've ever seen. I want to know what you think. Why was the play calling so bad, and why do you think Nick Saban seemed like he panicked a little bit?
I don't have an answer for that. It's very interesting. It was something that was really strange to watch because, I mean, not that the play calling was any different than what Alabama's been doing all season long, what they've been doing the last couple of seasons. Nick Saban's been trying to evolve and transition his offense into a more modern style of play. He's still going to run the ball a lot. Right. Still wants to possess the ball a lot. But he's been trying to get those big bombs and trying to get a quarterback who can throw the ball, because that's the only thing that he's been missing in his tenure is the ability to push the ball down the field and not have to rely on those 5 to 10 yards and in front of the offensive line. So the strange thing about it was that Clemson was just able to disguise their coverages so very well. They were able to stick with the receivers, and they were able to get pressure with 6 and still cover the receivers. They were bringing 6 at a time, so you got one more defender than you have blockers, but they were still able to get coverage because they were able to put Tua off of his spot. And it's just, I think it was just sort of a offensive coaching thing, not necessarily a Nick Saban problem, but they haven't had to coach that situation because they have never been in that situation.
Right.
The offensive line is one of the best offensive lines in all of college football. He hasn't had that experience. They haven't struggled like that. And so he hasn't had to be coached through that, and that's something he's got to grow through now.
Yeah, you're right about that. It seemed uncharacteristic for them. The 4th and 6 field goal.
There's no way to explain
They're playing prevent defense pretty much. They're knowing or kind of assuming you might go for a trick play, a fake field goal. And it's 4th and 6. If I'm Nick Saban, call the timeout. You call our bluff. Okay, Tua, go back out there. Let's go for another 4th down attempt. And that blew my mind that they actually went up there and still snapped the ball. You can see the holder, who's the 3rd string quarterback. Oh, and by the way, the lead blocker is the kicker. You know, so what is going on that play? They got the okay to run it, and they run it, and it was horrible, like it should have been horrible. That play, if that goes for a touchdown or 7 yards for first down, something wrong with that Clemson. That was wrong. Something wrong with that. But they were ready for it. Call the timeout. You called our bluff. We got it. No, let's go and run our offense now and get that first down. They did not do that. That bewildered me. That was some high school. It felt like high school play calling. It felt like flag football, pee-wee play calling. If I see that you know I'm about to fake the field goal, I'm gonna call timeout. Okay, they got us. Let's do something that we know that could give us a first down. That had no chance at all from the get-go. That was kind of strange, and from a Nick Saban coach staff, it was weird. We're gonna get into coach staff in just a second, but we're gonna talk about Justin Ross. 6 catches, 153 yards, a touchdown. He was a monster. He destroyed the right side of Alabama's secondary. But why I want to talk about him is because he had a choice to go to Alabama. He's from Alabama. Yeah. He gets a choice. Alabama or Clemson. He chooses Clemson. And the big word that he stuck out was, it was a family atmosphere. We're going to talk about Nick Saban, his coaching staff. In my words, it's more like a factory. It's a good run business. Mm-hmm. You know, and businesses make you money and they make you profits. But we were talking about how the fact that he's a decent players coach, but he's super duper hard on his assistant coaches, coordinators. Mm-hmm. And we were just talking about why is it that he's going through so much turmoil when it comes down to his coaches compared to Dabo Swinney's only having 2 guys leave, with Nick Saban having 13 guys in the last 4 years.
Well, number one, those guys are under a lot of people want these guys. Nick Saban, his coaching tree, you're talking about 4 SEC head coaches. 4 SEC head coaches currently from the Nick Saban family of assistant coaches. These guys are very sought after. Mm-hmm. Not that Dabo Swinney's guys are not, but Nick Saban's had a longer time to do this. He's had a longer time to build this up. Some of those guys that are now head coaches coached with him for 5-10 years together. But when you have a turnover like that, you can't expect to just replace those guys with the same caliber of people. And so he's sort of got to be hard on those guys because he needs to mold them up to the level that his previous assistants were.
Gotcha.
Because, like, I like that analogy. This is a business.
Mm-hmm.
He's a player's coach because his players are kids. They're guys. They're being developed as people. The coaches are men.
Grown man.
You're a grown man, all right? You can handle this. This is a business. You know this is a business. This is what you do for a living. So he's going to be much harder on those guys.
And that's completely agree.
And that comes, if you've watched anything or you know anything about Nick Saban, a lot of that comes from his dad. His dad was a hard-nosed guy like that. He was soft on the kids that he coached because they were kids, but the guys that worked with him,
got on their butts. It's a business.
You're going to work for it.
Right.
So Dabo Swinney just has a different philosophy on that. He still holds his coaches to a high standard.
Yeah.
But he doesn't run he doesn't run a very tight ship. He doesn't run it with an iron fist. He's kind of a more laid back guy. You said they got a putt golf course in their facility. And you know, they've got some fun time stuff. He likes everybody to feel like a family. And it was really, if you were paying attention to the broadcast at all, it was brought up. Justin Ross had the chance. Basically, the thing that swayed him, from his words to the broadcasters, was that he went to Clemson. did his visit day at Clemson, and once he got out, he knew those coaches were going to be there for his full tenure. He knew the coaches that were there when he visited would be there the entire time he was going to be there. And at Alabama, that's just not the same.
It's not. And now, I've always said this, like, both ways, you can't go wrong both ways.
No.
You know, a factory is a factory. If it's making money, if it's getting you to the pros, it is what it is. Now, people say factory and then family. Family is a little more softer. Family is a little bit, okay, they're not more worried about winning. But what if you are winning and you are a family? Totally different. That will persuade, I will tell my kid, okay, both schools are winning. Mm-hmm. One's a factory, one's a family. Who are you going to? You're going to the family. So now with Dabo Swinney and his family-oriented style with his coaches and with his players, and they're winning. That's the cherry on top. Players are being more persuaded to go to Clemson now. Then why would I want to go to Bama, where you know Nick Saban can just blow up on you at any second for a missed call, misplay, and then Dabo's like, he'll start probably get mad, obviously, at you, but he won't blow up on you, you know, unless you do something extremely crazy. Then you go into the family side, and they're taking kids from Alabama who are really, really good, like Justin Ross is, and they're taking him and saying, just come to South Carolina, and we'll take care of you. Georgia is doing the same thing, matter of fact, to Alabama player or Alabama people, you know, recruits, excuse me, and they're doing the same thing. So it might be a changing of the guard right now. At first, it just felt like 3 weeks ago, Alabama was the top, and you know, there's top one and Clemson two, and then there's everybody else pretty much. You know, Georgia, Oklahoma, they're like the third, and Ohio State you want to add in there, and then there's like everybody else. But now it almost feels like it's Clemson now. And Bama's still going to be there, but they're kind of like trying to be where Clemson was just 3 weeks ago. We want your spot. You know, I think Clemson is taking that by the horns with this beat down. You got to understand, we just talked about it. It was 14-16. Bama was up. You mean to tell me Clemson scored 30 straight points unanswered to win this game? That's mind-boggling. Now, what it does for a program, we don't know. It could do a lot for a program because Bama is, like you said, they've never been in this situation ever. And the recruitment way that you're going out, these kids are coming out and they just witnessed that. You know, talking to kids for next year because recruitment's almost over for this year. But you see next year kids, you're like, man, that Clemson team just beat y'all ass. Like, you know, woo. And I don't know if I want to go to you guys because it looks a little bad over there. It could change something. Now, Bama's still going to be there, but, you know.
Could be still dangerous. The last time that Nick Saban lost a game by 20-plus points was a very long time ago, way back in 2007. Alabama, it was Nick Saban's first year at Alabama. They lost to Kent State by the score, I think it was 34 to maybe 17 or something like that.
Man, I know.
And after that game, he turned absolutely everything around.
Yeah.
And that's how we got to where we are today. So something like this could be a catalyst for another long run. Could be the start of Clemson's dominance. Yeah. Clemson's period of dominance.
You see a 6 to 7 year of just dominance because the class is still young. They're young everywhere pretty much, including quarterback, who's going to be there 2019 and 2020. So you know that you got that.
And the great thing about the family mentality that Dabo Swinney brings, if you start winning like this, Dabo Swinney brought back almost 70% of last year's juniors as seniors this year.
Yeah.
Those senior kids came back to play for him, to play in this game. They said, we're going to beat Alabama. We're not happy with what happened last year.
Yeah.
And they came back. And when you can get kids to come back to you instead of going off to make money,
you got
that's
something going
special.
You got Christian Wilkins, who was the major guy, obviously great talent, could have been a top first-round pick last year. It's definitely going to be a top 32 pick this year. And then they got guys like Hunter Renfrow, who's been there for 12 years. But he stayed the whole entire time. Could have easily been a low NFL draft pick. Maybe undrafted, but he's going on the squad. You know that. He's that type of guy, that type of player. And he stays for the ride, too. So that just shows you the family atmosphere. And like you said, Deshaun Watson, like the only junior to basically leave. And because he had to leave. He was Michael Jordan of college. You had to leave on that note. So what a great dominant victory from Clemson. We talked about how they're going to be on top, and they're now the hunted. But I don't really feel like they're the hunted because they just won 2 years ago as well.
Yeah.
So it's like there's kind of like no pressure. If we got to face Bama, it's going to be for the championship again. You know, yeah. So it's like there's no pressure for Clemson. Let's break down stats before we roll out. Travis Etienne, 14 carries, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns on rushing and 1 receiving touchdown. This kid just got bigger. And it felt like he got bigger over a month. Now, I'm exaggerating, but he was a fast kid from Jennings, Louisiana. So we represent the hometown kid. We are Lake Charles, Louisiana, and Moss Bluff, Louisiana. But Etienne was a small kid who was just fast. My God, has he gotten bigger?
Now he's big.
They say, yo, you're fast, but we need to get bigger. And he got big. He was basically, after contact, pushing Alabama to finish 2 and 3 yards. And we're talking about, you know, Williams and all those big boys in there. He was pushing them. And what a great game from him. 3 touchdowns total. We had Justin Ross, 6 catches, 150 yards. Just miraculous catches everywhere. Balling out. But we can't forget about Bama. Bama had Jerry Jeudy, who's been remarkable all year. 5 catches, 139 yards receiving. He won the best wide receiver of the year pretty much, but he deserved it. He was just balling. And I think overall it came down to Bama's play calling. Pretty much. It's like they wanted to focus themselves on Tua. Tua is going to have a breakout game. We're going to show you why he's the best QB of all time. And I didn't like that. They had their chances early and could have cemented another championship if they would have stuck with the game plan that we all figured they were going with, instead of going with the game plan that they actually went with. So that came out the bottom of the butt. They kind of panicked. They realized, oh, we're here for a heavyweight fight, and this guy's the better guy. This is Mike Tyson in '91. You know, he's gonna knock us out. We got to go ahead and take major just jabs and major haymakers to do that, and you didn't have to. You were doing just fine in the run game. So I'm very confused about that. But you get what you deserve. Dabo Swinney and Clemson, a wonderful job. And look, nothing to sneeze at Alabama. 14-1 is, no. I mean, it's still a great year. And although you lose a championship, you're going to be there next year. Maybe not for the championship, but you'll be in the picture. Obviously, these 2 teams are not going anywhere. Clemson 15-0 for the first team to go 15-0.
First undefeated.
Yeah, in the college football club. Yeah, it's so a lot of crazy things happen. Both senior classes, 55 wins, 2 championships, 4 CFP appearances. Probably the greatest classes that'll ever be of
2 of the greatest classes of all time.
Yeah, so let's break down our top 25, top 20. We have a top 20 list. We're gonna start from 20 all the way to number 1. Let's just get the other ones out the way. At 20, West Virginia. Number 19, Army. We got 18, Fresno State. We got 17, Penn State, which is, all right. 16, Texas A&M. At 15, Syracuse. 14, Michigan. At 13, it's Washington. At number 12 is Kentucky with a big win over Penn State. That was crazy. UCF is number 11, outside the top 10 with the loss to LSU. We got Wazoo. They are number 10. Texas, number 9. I'm baffled about that. I just did not get it. How do you beat Georgia? And all those 7 points, it was kind of like they beat them soundly, in my opinion, and you're still below them because Georgia and Florida, get this guy.
Especially when they were weighted to lose.
Georgia and Florida are tied at 7. I don't get that. I don't know how it goes, but they're over Texas when I thought Texas, with the win over Georgia, it's a no-brainer. They beat them in a big-time game. Okay. LSU at number 6. That was kind of, in my opinion, I guess. Interesting high, but hey, end on a good note. They played UCF, and they dominated in the second half against UCF. So, I mean, hey, UCF nothing to sneeze at either. Then your top 5, Notre Dame. Then we have Oklahoma at 4. Ohio State at 3.
Alabama 2.
Yeah, and Clemson number 1. And Clemson is the definite number 1 favorite. That's the end of it. The top 4 is what I wanted to put in there. Ohio State, Oklahoma, Clemson, Alabama. But of course we had Notre Dame in there, and they proved us why they shouldn't have been in the first place. But what a crazy freaking season, man. I enjoyed it. Anything you want to say to wrap everything up, brother? About the game or anything?
It was a great season. It was an interesting game. Small side note, this is probably the only time I've ever seen a Nick Saban team quit.
Yeah.
They got about halfway. They got about halfway in that fourth quarter, and they were just done.
You're right. I've never seen them quit either. It was that fourth quarter was ugly. I mean, Clemson had the ball last for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like basically from the 2-yard line, and they just ate the clock up. It's just like Bama was done. They got knocked out, TKO. Or no, I lied, straight up knockout.
Yeah.
So that right there and the way they ended it, it's almost like, man, if we got to see these guys again, I don't know if I want to do all that.
Yeah.
We might as well just go ahead and get the SEC to Georgia or LSU. But I was saying, it's kind of like that. Like Clemson dominated after the first 3 meetings, the first 2 championship meetings were so close.
Yeah.
This one was a straight beatdown, and Bama has never suffered under Nick Saban. The guard might be changing. Clemson is your new number 1. Clemson is your champions. To go out, please like and subscribe to Uneducated Sports Talk and Uneducated Network to see my show and many of the shows on the docket. B-Dub, it's been a wonderful season, baby.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back for season 3 and bigger and better. I promise you guys. You guys will be stoked up when you see how season 3 goes down. And we'll be back somewhere late August to break down next year's playoff races and next year's schedule, all that good stuff, man. So, for Brian Wilkinson, I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. This is College Casual Football Talk. All sports fans, you guys know what time it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.